Shalom, Israel.
Shalom once again, Israel.
We're back again doing another video. But this video I just want to do is a simple biblical word search of the word evening, because we've been taught that the evening is the starting point of a new day. So we're just going to go through scripture, and like the scripture says, search the scriptures to see if it's so. So we're going to go through scripture and do a simple word search as far as the word evening is concerned, to find out exactly what the scriptures say about the word evening. What exactly does it say? If it's the starting point of a new day, or what happens when the evening comes, or when is the evening. So we're going to go and just do a simple word search on the word evening, right? So I'll give me the definite. Let's start off with the Strong's Concordance to find out what the Strong says evening is, and then also we'll go into the dictionary definition to find out what the word evening is.
Hey, Strong's Hebrews 61:53 for evening, night, sunset, evening, sunset, night.
Say that again.
Evening, Strong 61:53 is evening, night, sunset, evening, sunset, night.
Evening, sunset, night. So Strong's Concordance says that the word or the definition for evening is simply the evening or the night, or it says the key thing, sunset. So according to the Strong's Concordance, when the evening comes, it is then a point and period of the day where the sun sets, right? So read the dictionary definition for evening, and we'll start from there.
Definition for the word evening. It reads, the period of time at the end of the day, usually from about 6 p.m. to bedtime.
So a period of time at the end of the day. So that's what evening says. So that would go along with the fact that it says evening is sunset. So it says the period of time of the day at the end of the day. So right there is saying that the evening time is the period of time when the sun sets, and it's an ending point of the day. So we're going to go in scriptures to see if what exactly it says concerning evening. Give me Deuteronomy 23 verse 11, because we're going to find out what happens when the evening comes, right?
Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 11, and it reads, but it shall be when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again.
So right here, just like the definition said, evening when sunset. So it says when the evening comes and the sun is down. So it's telling you right now that when the evening comes, it's a period of time when the sun goes down, right? Give me Deuteronomy 16, verse 5 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 5 and 6. And it reads, thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. But at the place which Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt.
Read that dictionary definition about evening again.
Evening, definition, the period of time at the end of the day, usually from about 6 p.m. to bedtime.
So right here, verse 6, Deuteronomy 16 and 6, it says, but at the place where Yahweh the Elohim shall choose to place his name, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun. So right here, this is in reference to the Passover, which takes place in the evening. And it says that it's the evening, is the going down of the sun. So these already, we started off, we got a couple of precepts right now that's simply telling us that evening is a period of time when the sun goes down. So it says right here, that evening of the Passover is at the going down of the sun, right? Give me Mark 1 and 32.
Mark chapter 1, verse 30.
We're doing a simple word search of the word evening, right? Mark, go ahead.
Mark chapter 1, verse 32, and it reads, and at even when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed with devils.
Read that again. At evening, what happened with evening?
Mark chapter 1, verse 32, it states, and it reads, and at even when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed with devils.
So this is about the third scripture that says that when evening comes, it's a period of time when the sun goes down or the sun sets and it's dark. So this is the third one. Give me John 6 and verse 16 and 17. All right? We're doing a
John
simple
chapter 6.
word search of evening. Find out what the scriptures actually say concerning the word evening. Go ahead.
John chapter 6, verse 16 and 17. And it reads, and when even was now come, and his disciples went down unto the sea and entered into a ship and went over the sea toward Capernaum. And it was now dark, and Hamashiach was not come to them.
So right here, this scripture, verse 16 says, and now when the evening was now come, the disciples went down to the sea and they entered into the ship and went over the sea towards Capernaum, and it was dark. So this is another scripture that says that simply that when the nighttime or when the evening comes, it's a period of time when the sun goes down, when the sun sets, and when it's dark. So we're just doing a simple word search, a biblical word search as to what the evening consists of, right? So give me Judges 19, because there's also an order, Judges 19 verse 9, because there's also an order to it as well, because the evening comes prior to the night, right? So Judges 19.
Judges 19, verse 9.
Yeah, Connor, Judges 19,
Right.
verse 9.
Judges chapter 19, verse 9, and it reads, and when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thy heart may be merry, and tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home.
So verse 9 says that when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, behold, the day draweth towards evening. I pray that you tarry all night. So right here is telling you that evening precedes the night portion. Read the definition for evening again.
Evening, the period of time at the end of the day, usually from about 6 p.m. to bedtime.
Because this says, behold, the day draweth towards evening. I pray you tarry all night. Behold, the day grows to the end, meaning that the evening is coming, meaning that it's a period of time that the sun goes down and the sun sets and it gets dark. And the dictionary definition says it's a period of time at the end of the day. The Strong's Concordance again says that evening is a period of time when the sun sets. The sun sets, right? So finish out verse 9 again. It says, behold, now the day draweth towards evening. I pray you tarry all night. Behold, the day grows to an end. Lodge here that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow, meaning the next day, which starts in the morning, with the rising of the sun. You have the definition for morning,
Morning, Strong's 1242. Morning, break of day, the end of night, the coming of daylight, coming of sunrise, beginning of the day, tomorrow, next day, next morning.
So it said the end of night, because right here it says, the day draweth towards evening. I pray thee stay here all night. So evening, so just as evening precedes night, night precedes the morning. The morning is the starting point of a new day. We've read a few scriptures right now in reference to the evening, and it's all saying, referencing the sun going down, a period of time when it's dark. The dictionary definition is saying that a period of time at the end of the day at 6 p.m. And now we're reading this, that the day draweth to an end, right? Give me Proverbs 7 and verse 9 up. Precept upon precept.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 9, and it reads, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night.
Read that again.
Proverbs 7 and 9, and it reads, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night.
In the evening, in the black and dark night. So this is another one that's referencing the evening, and it's a period of time. This says the black and dark of night, talking about the sun going down, the sun setting, and it gets dark, right? Give me Jeremiah 6 and verse 4 and 5. Jeremiah 6, verse 4 and 5.
Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 4 and 5, and it reads, prepare ye war against her, arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us, for the day goeth away, for the shadows of the evening are stretched out. Arise and let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces.
So again, this is another scripture that says that the evening precedes the night. It says right here that the day goeth away and the shadows of evening are stretched out. Arise, let us go by night, that we will destroy her places. So right here, it's telling you the daytime, which is the daylight hours of the day. It says it's going away, meaning that when it goes to the evening time, it's a period of time when the sun sets, it gets dark, and it says that the day ends, right? And it says the night is after the period of time of evening, right? So it says that right there, right? Let's get a couple more. Let's get give me Mark 4, verse 1 and 2, because we're going to show in scripture that when the evening comes, we already saw that when it evening comes, it gets dark, the sun sets, that we're going to see if, in fact, if it's the same day at evening or if it's the starting point of a new day, right? Give me Mark chapter 4, verse 1 and 2.
Mark chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Excuse me. And he began to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine. Again?
Drop down to verse 35.
Verse 35. Mark chapter 4, verse 35. And it reads, and the same day when the even was come, he saith unto them, let us pass over unto the other side.
Well, give me the dictionary definition of same, because it says right here in verse 35 that in the same day when the even was come, he said, let's cross over to the other side. Because verse 1 and 2 says that they were on the ground and they entered into the ship. Verse 35 says that they crossed over and it was the same day at even, right? So let's see what the dictionary definition is for the word same.
Definition for the word same: identical, not different.
Identical, not different, right? Give me the definition for identical.
Identical, similar in every detail, exactly alike.
Exactly alike. So when the sun went down and it got dark and the evening came, it was the same day. It was the exact same day. This did not say that when the evening came, it was now the next day, it was now the morning. It said it was the exact same day, right? Give me, it says precept upon precept. Give me John 20 and verse 1. Because it said the same day at evening, right?
John chapter 20, verse 1. And it reads, the first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, until the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
So it says the first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early. So topic of discussion, this is talking about the first day of the week, right? Drop down to verse 19.
Verse 19, then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Hamashiach and stood in the midst and saith unto them, peace be unto you.
So the top of the chapter says that the first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene, right? So when we drop down in context to verse 19, it says, then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut. So with the evening doctrine, with the evening understanding that when the evening comes, it is now the starting point of a new day. There's no way that this scripture and the scripture that we just read previously, there's no way that this scripture could say that the same day at evening being the first day. If the evening constituted the starting point of a new day, then it would have to read that when the evening came, it was the second day of the week. It doesn't say that. It says the same day at evening being the first day. So these are two scriptures right here in context that's proven that when the evening comes, it is not the starting point of a new day. It is in fact the same biblical day, right?
Same day.
Give me Genesis 15. We get another witness because it said the same day. Genesis 15, be verse 12, and then we're going to drop to 17 and 18.
Genesis chapter 12, Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him.
So it said when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on him. Because when the sun goes down, is a time, a period when it's dark and it's nighttime. If a day starts in the evening, like the doctrine is taught, why is it that when the sun goes down, if the day starts in the evening, we're eating our dinner, we're watching TV, we put on our pajamas, and we go to bed? If that's the starting point of a day, we should be up, ready to go out, doing what we're supposed to do because it's the day. So we should be out in the street, going to work, doing whatever we have to do because it's the starting point of a day. But that's not what the scripture says. It says that night or the evening part is a time or period when the sun goes down, it gets dark, the sun sets, it's the same day, and it's a part of the same day. Read verse 17 and 18 out.
Verse 17, Genesis 15, verse 17. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. Verse 18, in the same day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
So the definition is the same again, huh?
Same, identical, not different.
So verse 17 says, and it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark. Verse 18 says, and in the same day. Mark 1 and verse 35 says, and the same day at even when the sun went down. John 20 and verse 19 says, and the same day at evening of the first day. So these are three scriptures in context that clearly says that when the evening came, it was still a part of the same day, right? Give me 1 Kings 18 and 29. Huh? So we're doing a simple word search of the biblical scriptures concerning the word evening, right? 1 Kings 18 and 29.
First Kings chapter 18, verse 29, and it reads, and it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded.
So this is referencing evening sacrifices, right? So we're going to go in and get some understanding on the evening sacrifices and find out exactly what that's talking about, right? Give me 1 Chronicles 16 and 40.
First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 40. And it reads, to offer burnt offerings unto Yahweh upon the altar of the burnt offering continually, morning and evening, and to do according to all that is written in the law of Yahweh, which he commanded Israel.
So this is talking about burnt offerings. It says continually, meaning never ending. It's always happening, right? It says morning and evening to do according to as written in the law, right? So like I said, we're going to go in and see the evening sacrifices. So let's see exactly what it says and how the sacrifices are to be given to the Most High. Give me Exodus 29. And we're going to start at verse 38 to 40.
Exodus 29, verse 38. Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the altar, 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. Verse 39. The one lamb thou shalt offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. Verse 40. And with the one lamb, a 10th deal of flour mingled with a 4th part of an hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of a hin of wine for a drink offering. Verse 41, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even, and shalt do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
So it says, we said it's a continual, meaning a never-ending offering, right? So verse 38 says, now this is that which you shall offer upon the altar, 2 lambs. So he said you have to offer 2 lambs, right? So he said it says of the first year, day by day, meaning every day continually, right? So now he's going to tell you how he wants you to offer these 2 lambs. So verse 39 says, the one lamb thou shalt offer in the morning. So the first one you offer in the morning, and the second one, it says, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. So he wants 2 lambs in the same day, same meaning identical. So right here is telling you that he wants 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. So that's telling you right there that the morning and the evening consist of the same day. Right? Verse 40 says, and with the one lamb, a 10th deal of flour mingled with the 4th part of the hin beaten oil, and the 4th part of the hin of wine for a drink offering. And the other, or the second lamb, the one that you offer at evening, right? Thou shalt offer it at even, and shall do thereunto according to the meat offering of the morning. So it's saying the same way you offered the first lamb in the morning, you do it the same way that you offered the one that you are going to offer the one in the evening, right? So it says that the morning and the evening is a part of the same day, right? Give me 2 Chronicles 4, because the Bible clearly tells us that there's a morning and an evening to every day. we've read several scriptures and it's telling us that the evening come is a part of the same, it's the same day. It does not change the day. It's the same exact day. If it changed the day, then they couldn't have given two offerings in the same day because the evening would now be the next day. And it didn't say that, right? Second Chronicles 2, verse 4.
You said verse 4?
Yes.
Second Chronicles 2, verse 4. Okay.
Chronicles 2, verse 4.
Second Chronicles chapter 2, verse 4. He said, behold, I build an house to the name of Yahweh my Elohim, to dedicate it to him and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread, and for the burnt offering, morning and evening, on the Sabbaths and on the new moons, and on the solemn feast of Yahweh our Elohim. This is an ordinance forever to Israel.
So it's still talking about the burnt offerings, the one we just read, one in the morning and one in the evening. So this is telling us that there's a morning and the evening of the Sabbaths, there's a morning and evening of the new moons, and there's a morning and evening of the solemn feast days, meaning Feast of Unleavened Bread, meaning the Passover. There's a morning and the evening to each day, right? When the evening comes, it's just a period of time when the sun goes down and it gets dark. The next day does not start until the morning at the rising of the sun. It's telling us that right there. Give me 1 Samuel 30 and verse 17.
First Samuel chapter 30, verse 17. And it reads, and David smote them and David smote them from the twilight even until the evening of the next day, and there escaped not a man of them.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Save 400 young men which rode upon camels and fled.
So it said, and David smote them from twilight even until evening of the next day. So like we just read in 2 Chronicles 2 and 4, there's a morning and an evening to every day. So it says there's a morning, there was an evening of one day, and it was an evening of the next day. So the evening to evening does not constitute the starting point of a new day. It just doesn't.
Let me say something real quick. And saying this is just another scripture right here where it says that David smote them at twilight even until the evening of the next day. Don't get this scripture twisted with the Day of Atonement. Just because David started slaughtering them at the evening of one day to the evening of the next day doesn't mean that the evening is the start of a day.
It simply means a period of time, right?
A period of time.
So give me Mark 1 and verse 21. We're going to close. We've got a couple more scriptures we're going to close, because clearly the scriptures is telling us that the evening is not the starting point of a new day. And I know we use Genesis 1. Yeah, Mark 1 and 21. And I know we use Genesis 1 and 5, trying to justify a day starting in the evening, but that's taken out of context. And like the brother just mentioned, we use the other scripture referencing the Day of Atonement, and that's just a period of time when the sun goes down on the evening of the 9th to the sun going down on the evening of the 10th that we afflict or fast. That's just a period of time to fast. It is not the starting point of a new day. Mark 1 verse 21.
Mark chapter 1 verse 21. And they went to Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught.
Now drop down to verse 32.
Verse 32. And at even when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed with devils.
Read.
And all the city, verse 33, and all the city was gathered together at the door. And he healed many that were sick of divers diseases, and cast out many devils, and suffered not the devils to speak, because they knew him. Verse 35, and in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed.
So like Second Chronicles said, there's a morning and an evening to the Sabbath day, right? So this says that verse 21 is clearly talking about the Sabbath day. Verse 32 says, and the evening came of the Sabbath day and the sun did set, right? Get the definition of morning again, because this is when the day switched from the evening. The evening is just a period of time when the sun went down and set, right? Verse 35 says, and in the morning at the rising up a great while before day, parted into a solitary place, and there he prayed. Read that definition for morning.
Morning, Strong's 1242. Morning, break of day, the end of night, the coming of daylight, the coming of sunrise, beginning of the day, morrow, next day, next morning.
And let me get this last scripture, Jonah 4, verse 6 and 7. And we're going to close with this, because clearly this is telling us right here that when the evening came of the Sabbath, it was just a period of time when the sun set. The day did not change or start over until the morning at the rising of the sun, right? I mean, Jonah 4, verse 6 and 7.
Jonah chapter 4, verse 6. And Yahweh Elohim prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head to deliver him from his grief. So Jonah was exceeding glad of the gourd. Verse 7, but Elohim prepared a worm when the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered.
When the morning what?
When the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered.
So right there, the scripture says, when the morning rose, it was the next day. So there's no scripture that says evening to evening is the starting point of a new day. This was a simple video of a word search of the biblical definition and the biblical scriptures that constitute the evening. And there's no scripture that says that the evening is the starting point of a new day. So let me just give you this one, pose this question, because you say evening to evening is the start of a point of a new day. So think about this. If a day begins when it starts, if a day begins when it starts to get dark, when does night begin? When does it get, when it begins to get light? When is it, at what point that it gets light? Because if you're saying that the day starts in the dark and the night begins, so what period of time is it when the sun is up? What do you call that period of day? What do you call that? Right? So let me try to squeeze this in too, because the animals understand this too. Let me see. Psalms. Give me Zephaniah 3 and 3, and I'll get Psalms 104, 20.
You said Zephaniah 3 and 3?
Yeah, Zephaniah 3 and 3. If we got enough time. I don't know if we have it. Zephaniah 3 and 3.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 3. And it reads, her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the morrow.
So the wolves are nocturnal animals. They come out at night, right? So the same with
I got
this.
the other one.
Go ahead, read that real quick.
I got Psalms 104, verse 20. Start at verse 20.
20, God. Go ahead.
Okay. Psalms 104, verse 20. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. Verse 21. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from Elohim. Verse 22. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves together and lay them down in their dens. Verse 23. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening.
The evening is the period of time when the sun goes down and it gets dark. It is not the starting point of a new day. So with that, we say shalom.
Shalom, Israel.